Hi guys, what's up today? Day 7 on my quest to quit weed here. Nothing too much new to report, just figured I'd get back to you guys. All two of you, let you know that I'm still here. I'm still happy. No desire to smoke weed. And I feel like I can safely say that my quitting is now over. I'm not quitting anymore, I've just quit. And I'm just living. So, it might be harder for cigarettes, but, you know, with weed, it's the first, the second, maybe third, but mostly it's just the first and the second day. Honestly, the first day is the hardest. If you can get through one day, you'll probably smoke the next day. If you can get through two, you'll probably be able to quit. Seriously. It's not that bad. And the illusion in our mind of how bad it's going to be, based on how addicted we feel, and how much of a problem it feels like to us, it feels like it would be a lot harder. So in our minds it is a lot harder. So in reality, it's a lot harder because of the way we're thinking about it. But seriously, if you really want to quit, you're out of strategies and you know you're just going to keep buying more, just, give all your money to a friend or something to hold on to, a close friend. And, give your credit card to someone to hold on to, a trusted person who's not going to buy stuff with it. Or, just cut it in half, whatever you got to do, But that's a little extreme. But just get rid of all your money, get rid of your bong, get rid of your weed. Easy way to quit. There's obviously other ways, and whatever works for you. But this has worked for me, being flat ass broke. So it's onward and upward. Applied to some more new jobs. Hopefully I'll get a job at Chapters, start reading some more books. And yeah, I've been reading more since I quit. Doing a lot more. I think I've said it all. Yeah, I'm really happy about this, so it's been sweet. Peace out. Maybe I'll get back to you on the 2-week mark or after a month to let you know that I'm still on the right track. I don't think I'm going to start smoking again. I feel like it's important to talk about this for me right now because I've quit for a week before, I've quit for 10 days before, and then gone back to smoking. I was like, I'll have one, Like, I didn't do it because I was stressed. I did it to have fun. But then after that, all the habits came back. If you're gonna destroy your habits, especially, spending money to do it the way I did it, with plant tools, then why waste your time and your money and your willpower rebuilding those bad habits, So weed served me, but my one good friend has a saying that what weed gives to you with one hand, it takes with the other. So I've done my time. I've become a more empathic person. I've become a more sensitive person, more perceptive person. I've built a greater connection with nature, and I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm grateful, but for now anyway, and for the foreseeable future, my time with weed is done. I'm definitely going to be still doing some work on myself on a day-to-day basis, but I don't feel like I really need mushrooms or acid to work on my psyche anymore in terms of addiction or just in general. I don't feel any big pain points right now in my psyche. I don't feel I have any bad habits to break, really. I spend a lot of time on the computer, but that's just because I'm working, I'm at home, and it's a good way to learn. But I also read, go for walks and stuff, so I'm good. I'm happy right now. And I know that when I get bored, if I just push through that boredom, maybe it won't be right away. Maybe it'll be a day, 2 days, a week later. But the creativity will come and hit you right in the face. And another thing about weed that I really like, even though it can sometimes be a little frightening, is the dreams. Your dreams come back. And I feel more powerful than ever. I mean, I feel more powerful than ever, but the dreams themselves feel more powerful than ever. Yeah, the other night, I had this dream. I was in this massive, like, cottage mansion with this open concept. It had a library and, like, open ceilings. It was beautiful. But then I actually got cornered by these, like, white-haired triplets. The one girl put her hands on my chest and she was, like, sucking my energy. So here I am doing the dragon's breath while I'm dreaming, and it woke me right up. And all I could see was a look of surprise on her face right before I woke up, which is really strange, I find dreams really interesting, and I'm starting to dig into it more. And, perhaps unburying myself from weed, that's made my dreams stronger as well. I know St. John's wort definitely had an impact on my dreams, making them more frequent, more intense, at a deeper state of rest. But yeah, with dreams, I feel like the purpose of dreams, there's various purposes, kind of like psychedelics that way. In fact, it's very much like psychedelics. You could consider it psychedelics that your brain produces. So it's not specifically targeted, but the brain can produce a plethora of stuff to suit its purposes. But the most standard thing about dreams is try and analyze them. And this can work if it's something that seems like it's related to your life. Obviously, analyzing dreams is a skill. You can't just like flippantly do it, or it's not like up for your interpretation necessarily. There's interpretation involved, but I don't know, you kind of, well, it is up for interpretation, but yeah, dreams have different messages sometimes. I think a big part of dreams, at least once you hit a certain point, let's consider this. We've got layers and layers and layers of fear-based emotions that are ingrained in our system, ingrained in our mind, our body, whatever. And so what happens is that as you make your life less negative, more positive, it can seem very counterproductive when these things arise. But as your life gets easier to deal with, harder to deal with things will surface from where they were buried in the core of your personality so that you can deal with them. For example, I've had dreams of people hanging onto my legs while I tried to crawl away and couldn't escape a house and couldn't find my way home, and people were coming up and stabbing me with stuff. I've had dreams where I've been eaten alive by wild animals. I guess I hadn't thought of that for a while. But I wouldn't say it was like an ego death experience necessarily. Maybe a partial one, but it was the kind of thing where I woke up right as they were in on me and I couldn't see anymore because I was buried by all these different types of animals that were eating me. So I didn't exactly see my bones or anything. But yeah, this chick stealing my energy, it was pretty freaky. I could actually feel the strength draining out of me very quickly. It was really weird. But yeah, I just see these as new fears exposing themselves to you, new vulnerabilities for you to account for. And, I'm very intrigued by that. And, I used to wake up from a dream like this totally petrified, and I was afraid to go back to sleep. And, it would bug me for like a week or two. And I was like, just reflecting on it, like, I guess, amazed at the level of fear that was even possible while you're asleep or in general. I feel like because the world is so soft right now, at least where we are in Canada, that we kind of need these dreams to present us with real fears, because we're not living in the real world right now. This is an illusion. I can't necessarily say that the entire world is a simulation per se, but if you look at it, government structures, religious structures, cultural structures, these are the simulations. Even buildings you could consider as a simulation, because it's not what nature would naturally do, but I would definitely consider things that are more intangible as the simulative factors, like culture, religion, politics, borders, etc. So I really think that we need these frightening dreams to help us wake up. And you can only be as awake as you're prepared to deal with fear. So, expose yourself to the things that make you afraid. Take on the challenges in your life. Prove to yourself that you have the power and that you will use it. And not just to help yourself, but you can help others too. If something in your mind tells you that it would be good to help others, you should help them, because if you don't, you're just going to start viewing people as unworthy of your help. Because when I feel like doing something, or I feel that it would be right to do something and I don't do it, we build justifications for this. There's a great book, Leadership and Self-Deception. It will explain all that to you. But essentially, if you go against your conscience, then it's going to manipulate your mind and make you less of a person. Well, not less, but, you're not going to be living up to your full potential productively or karmically, but especially karmically. And it's going to make you view people differently and in a negative way if you go against your conscience. Yes. So, yeah, I really recommend front-loading in your life, basically preparing things for yourself. It's a really great thing, and I find it really helps me with stress. It helps me because I have less to do in the mornings, and I have something to do in the evenings while I'm waiting to go to bed, instead of looking at a screen until bedtime. I'm not really one of those read before bed people, because I want to remember what the hell I was reading, and if I want to remember it, I have to be at a level of wakefulness that isn't conducive to sleeping. So doing these little front-loading activities, like putting your laundry away, setting out your clothes, filling up a glass of water, preparing your lunch for the next day, all these things are going to help you a lot, and they'll give you additional energy. Just consider it a favor to yourself. And if you think about it, it's a selfless thing to do that benefits yourself and no one else, really. But it is selfless because we are the now. So when you prepare something for you tomorrow, you actually are being selfless, and that's a good deed. And when you take that pre-prepared sandwich out of the fridge tomorrow, or when you take that first sip of water that's just perfect right after you woke up, or you eat that apple or banana or whatever that you left for yourself so that you could eat right when you got out of bed, kickstart your morning, it feels good to accept a favor from yourself. It feels really good. And the feeling of novelty from it will fade over time, but it's still giving you more energy. In the morning, your brain sucks at thinking, so it uses a lot of energy. You can depower your whole day. So, by doing these things for yourself, you get a great kickstart, and then, you tackle everything in your life. And as this happens, you'll get more and more and more and more and more energy. And then, start doing things that make you more self-confident. Start taking on things that you're afraid of that matter to you, or that don't matter to you. It doesn't matter. But what the point is that you'll develop more self-efficacy, more self-confidence, more self-competence, and more productivity, more happiness, fulfillment, and meaning in your life, you know? It's not an exact quote, but somebody once said, when people look for God, they look in too high of places. Or when people try to emulate God, you know, they think too highly, which is to say that, you know, let's say 60+% of our time is spent doing the same things, you know, routines, the same shit every day. That's the majority of our life. You know, let's say you were going to live to 100. That means you only get 40 years of true living, free of routines. So the routines take up a big part of your life, but it's not good to just abandon them, because that's just going to leave you with less energy and lots of free time that you won't be able to do anything with. See, what happens is the more responsibilities we take on, the more concentrated and directed our energy is when we do have free time. So, you know, somebody who works 29 days out of the month has a really rockin' 30th day, and they can do anything they want. You know, I'm not recommending you work 29 days in a month, but, you know, I've had an abscess of free time for the last 2 years, and let me tell you, there's not a lot you can do with it when you don't have a job and, you know, you avoid your problems. It's really just as much of a trap as working for someone else at minimum wage, and it's not empowering at all to have just free time. It sucks. It's depressing. But responsibility is, I feel like, the key to fulfillment, the key to self-confidence, happiness, the key to other people liking you, to benefiting others, you know, to being a good parent or child, being a good partner, and just, you know, avoid temptations, you know, like, yeah, avoid temptations. Even if you don't feel the temptation physically, you can get hit mentally too, and it's hard to pick up because you don't have an emotional feeling about it, you know, like, you know, thoughts, sometimes it's just a thought, and we're like, okay, we'll go along with it, whatever, right? Because we don't feel like it's a bad thing, it's just blank. But, you know, temptation's tough, you know, and, you know, it can be tough in a relationship too, because, you know, we have expectations of each other, and, you know, sometimes your partner needs space, and, you know, if we have all these expectations of them, they're not going to be able to get that space, and then, you know, they're repressing what they need to do, what they need to figure out, you know, and then because you're using them up, and you know, it's just not good. It comes full circle and it wrecks stuff. So, you know, avoid those temptations. It's so easy when you're around somebody that you love to just want to make out with them, or, you know, do whatever. But, you know, life's not about that. You know, it's a great thing when it happens. But, you know, whatever your temptation is, whether it's sugar, crack cocaine, or like whatever it is, you know, love, whatever, lust, temptation makes you weak, man. And if there's anything I've learned about, you know, sexual temptation especially, it's that, you know, your sexual energy, which is the energy of life, as, you know, referenced by many people, Freud and Wilhelm Reich included, but the energy of life, your sexual energy, your creative energy, when this builds up, you know, you're going to be very tempted to, you know, do whatever, you know, have sex or watch porn or whatever you're going to do, you know, but you don't repress it, but what you do is you release it. You say, you know, it's not too important, and you let it go. And what will happen is you will get more dreams, you'll get more creativity, you know, more musical influence, muse, whatever, and you'll find that you can use this energy to do a whole lot of stuff. And, you know, I feel like if you want to be close and intimate with your partner, this is going a little bit off topic, but I think this is really important. If you want to be close and intimate with your partner, show them that you care. And don't show them that you care so that you can get something out of them. Show yourself that you care about them and that you don't need, or you don't need anything. I don't know that we can not want anything. I think it's good to want, an intimate connection with your partner, but to need it from them is really unempowering on both sides, and it can really mess you up. So, if you want to be closer to your partner, go out and do something fun with them. Do something that they enjoy. Step out of your comfort zone a little. Do something that maybe they're excited about, but you might not always be. And instead of going and being grumpy and like faking it, sort of, your desire to do what they want to do, gain your desire or your fulfillment, your happiness from experiencing them being happy. And they might not even understand at first. They might feel like you're faking it, or you're just trying to get something out of them, or you're just being nice, but you're not really enjoying yourself. The key is to really enjoy yourself. Find out what it is about every situation in your life that you can enjoy. And if you're always looking at life for what part of it you enjoy, or what parts, and you're focused on that, and you find joy and happiness in everything, then the people around you will be happy, and your relationships will be better, your life will be better, and you're not going to have as much temptations, you're not going to have as much stress, you're going to be a lot happier. And I think if you're addicted to anything, quitting that is going to make you a lot happier as well. And it's going to give you a lot of free time, and you're really going to discover who you are and be able to start, creating greater parts of yourself. Bolstering your spirit, who you are, what you're capable of. And, as gratifying as something may be in the present, that's not good for you, something that feels like a pain in the ass in the present that is the right thing to do, or that is a productive thing, or it's going to help you later on, that's the stuff that's really fulfilling. When you've worked hard for something for a while, and then you finally get the results, and then you don't just take that for its face value and say, alright, I'm done, but you keep going and you're inspired, and instead of keeping the level of goal that you had in the first place, you just raise your goal level a little bit higher each time, and you keep climbing, you become a greater and greater person. And I think that's the path set out for all of us. And in 2018, it's almost 2019 now, how the time flies when we're stoned. It's a great year, and I can feel very strongly that there's things changing in the universe right now, and that we are being awakened, and we are being given more energy. And as you affect life with positive karma, you do what's right in all situations, as many as you can. You don't hold it against yourself if you fuck up, but always striving to be better in each present moment. You'll start to experience synchronicities. Stuff will fall into place for you. Stuff that you've been waiting for a long time will suddenly appear. But even if you do have a selfish